Double Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, up to the heavyweights. We said March Madness is over, but the madness ain't over. You know, the madness continues, right? So we're talking heavyweights, you know, and I noticed when you say something about, these guys, we got the champions, we got Deontay Wilder, WBC champion, and Anthony Joshua, every other one, right? Every other one, IBF, WBO, and WBA, right? Anthony Joshua. So we want to get unification. Most of us, we're so close for unification, which means basically one champion, like the cruiserweight is about to do with Garcia versus Usyk. Thanks to Colin Sauerland and the WBSS tournament. We're about to have one dude, baddest in cruiserweight. And matter of fact, if it's Usyk, y'all better be careful because he ain't going to be staying there too long coming up in the heavyweight, rubbing the elbows in a minute here. If you let John Nelson tell it, he was doing well against Klitschko. Klitschko made him stop training. Get out of here. You're sparring with me and embarrassing me. And wait till the media leave, though, because I don't want them seeing you go through the door. So Usyk has a little thing going on. But that ain't what we're talking. We're talking heavyweights, right? So I noticed if you say anything right now about Deontay Wilder or whatever, that he's something positive or something that's not so positive by Anthony Joshua, people get hurt. They call you a Yank. So I just figured, well, if it's Yank, let's go ahead and introduce a whole lot of Yankees, that support or acknowledge Deontay Wilder. Just introduce the Yankees. You know what I mean? That's how we do. Introduce them. Since we're Yankees, let's do it like Yankees do. Batting first. Batting first. One of the best cruiserweights in history. Cruiserweight champion of the world turned commentator. One of the best the British has to offer. Johnny Nelson. Batting second. One of the most powerful promoters we have in the world today. Eddie Hearn, right? Yankee. Batting third, right? Former British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion of the world. David Price. Batting fourth. Linear heavyweight champion of the world, former WBA, IBF, WBO champion of the world, Tyson Fury in the cleanup position. Batting fifth, one of the best boxing pundits the British have to offer, Steve Bunce. Batting sixth, former super middleweight champion, unified super middleweight champion, turned boxing commentator extraordinaire, Carl Froch. One of the best commentators for the last decade, former cruiserweight contender, Glenn McQuarrie. Batting eighth, one of the best trainers British have to offer. Trains the lineal heavyweight champion. Trains one of the best contenders British have to offer. Mr. Peter Fury. And batting ninth in the pitcher position. First, we're going to give the pitcher, which is Hughie Fury. And the designated hitter got to be former heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. David Haye. That's the Yankee lineup that I got for you. Right? Nothing but Yankees. Speaking of Yankees, matter of fact, if I'm going to be the Yankee, I'm going to say it again, like I should say before every video before I say something about Anthony Joshua. My favorite heavyweight of all time is Lennox Lewis. Okay? I got Lennox against anybody throughout history. If you got 2 out of 3 fights, I'm going with Lennox. Told you the reasons before 1,000 times. Lennox Lewis. That's another Yankee. So we got a Yankee team going on. So I'm pretty sure you got my point. It has nothing to do about where you're from. At the end of the day, it's we're earthlings anyway. You know what I mean? So all of that, this side of the pond, that side, it has nothing to do with it. It has to do with right or wrong. It has to do with unification. One champion only. So when we're talking about Anthony Joshua right now, he's not acting like a Lennox Lewis. So when you compare, it has nothing to do with America, because the Lennox Lewis was in a time when American heavyweights were doing well. I could have been a Mike Tyson fan, but I saw Lennox Lewis wasn't getting fought. I could have been a Riddick Bowe fan, right? I saw Riddick Bowe didn't want none. I saw all the other ones screaming all the time, screaming and saying all these crazy things. I saw Lennox Lewis chilling and just saying, "Bring it, man." And when people brought it, then they got it. And I seen Lennox Lewis fight hard fights. I seen him in chess matches. But what I seen him do is win. And I don't really care how people win. Some people even calling the Anthony Joshua versus Joseph Parker fight boring. Right? And that was the same one that called Mayweather fights boring. And if you don't see blood, right? But when people are at the pinnacle of what they do, and it means something, it counts, and you're fighting someone who you definitely respect, his talent level, that can happen. That can happen because they were the best fighting the best. It's not going to always be roll. You like to see fighters fight people when they're coming up and knocking them out and beating them up bad, right? But then after the fight, you're going to say he didn't fight anybody anyway. So when they fight somebody, expect boring fights sometime if that's what's boring to you. But it's not. It was good to see the best fighting the best and having to figure out how to handle this obstacle, because this is not something that I always have. That was the beauty of it. That was the beauty of Mayweather as well. That's the beauty. It's like, y'all better figure that out. And also Vladimir Klitschko, right? Oh, it's just boring. No, it's like somebody's losing on the other side. What's boring about constantly winning? That's not really boring. Constantly winning, having somebody challenge you and figuring out a way to beat that person. That's the beauty of boxing. It doesn't always have to be blood and guts, right? That's when two people are probably at a niveau where it's, both of them going to do that. But sometimes it's good to watch somebody get hit and not get hit. That's what boxing is supposed to be all about. So back to the point. The Yankees, all 9 of them, have all stated something to acknowledge or support Wilder versus Joshua, right? If it's Johnny Nelson, he says he should be 10 times more famous, Deontay Wilder, than he is. He also changed his what he thought who gonna win that fight. I think he thinks it's 50-50 now. At first he thought Joshua was gonna win. This is something Eddie Hearn has said. Wilder's the most dangerous opponent they have. Right? He said Joshua thinks something else, but he said that. David Price thinks Wilder KOs Joshua now. Didn't think that at the beginning. That's what he thinks now. Tyson Fury is begging Wilder not to fight Joshua first so he won't knock Joshua out before Tyson Fury schools him. Right? Steve Bunce has Wilder, period. Carl Froch thinks Wilder wasn't even, after that performance, Wilder probably wants him even more. Right? Glenn McQuarrie, he thinks that Wilder is the man. He just straight up said it. Peter Fury, he thinks the whole Fury camp thinks Wilder knocks out Joshua. So these Yankees seem to be getting it wrong, right? All them Yankees, right there. So instead of getting mad at the Yankees that's across the pond, get mad at the Yankees that's right next door to you. Dome Sports Talk, worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.